of weapon, I am divine lightning. So the question is, why not Sudarshan Chakra? No. If it is the most powerful weapon. You see, I explain about that the last day of Just Love Festival. No? You see, when in chapter 10, verse 19, Arjuna explained, please tell me about your glory in detail. You know? And Bhagavan Krishna said, among the mountain, I am among the mountain, I am the among the immovable, I am the Himalayas, among the masses, I am the ocean, among the so on, But you have to see, when he's referring that, he's talking to Arjun. He's saying to Arjun, all in nature, the topmost in nature, everything which is sublime in nature is me. That's why he said in chapter 10, verse 42, he said, what the use of knowing all this? Know that every splendor, all the beauty, all the shine, all the brilliance in this world emanate from me. So here, Sudarshan Chakra is not an emanation, it's not, something which is present in nature. It is a weapon. No? So here he can't say that I am the Sudarshan Chakra. No, he said I am the lightning. Because lightning is such a weapon, it's a natural weapon. So it is present in nature. Otherwise we will see a lot of Sudarshan Chakra flying around, which can be very dangerous. Imagine every time there is the weather change, Sudarshan Chakra will be flying around. It can be very dangerous. So, you see, Bhagavan, he referred to himself as what is the most sublime, the essence of everything. Lightning is the essence of electricity, energy. So among those energy, I am that. That's what he's saying into that verse, You see, before you can read like that, now you have to read far away. So, to grow in our relationship with God, we have fulfilled in Bhakti Marga, which are knowledge, meditation, ritual, devotion, art. Is one of them more important than the others, or how shall we balance them in our daily life? Look, everybody is not the same. No, if I like apple, I don't really like it. But in case, just put it like that, I can't expect everybody to like apple. So everybody have their preference, how they can approach the divine. These are guidelines, but above all into these, knowledge is the most important. Without knowledge, you can't do anything. Without knowledge of art, would you be able to do? Without knowledge of ritual, would you be able to do? Yes, you may do, but you will not know what you are doing. Many people do so many things, they don't know what they are doing and why they are doing it. It becomes a waste, So even meditation. Don't think that meditation is just to sit down and close your eyes and visualize and fantasize some ideas inside of your head. No. Meditation is that instant of coming to that point where your mind is non-existence, mindless state, where your mind is not troubling you, your mind is not jumping around in so many ways. Your mind is fixed. You're absorbed. The moment you close your eyes, you enter directly into that field, into that spheres of peace, quietness. Nothing trouble you. That is meditation. All others are the process of the mind towards attaining that. So you need knowledge to that. No? So for me, I would say knowledge is the best. Without knowledge, you can't know Bhagavan. Then there's beautiful saying of Kabir. What did Kabirji say? Guru Govind dono kare, kako lage paaye. Guru bina Govind dik na koi. Kako na pai. Which means, you see, Guru and Govind are standing. Who shall I touch the feet first? You ask that to people, that, oh, Bhagavan is in front of me. Let me fall at the feet of Bhagavan, no? But scriptures said, no. Even if God is in front of you, Guru is the most important. Because it is Guru that give you that knowledge to know who is God. Without having that knowledge, you will not know who He is. Who is that fellow? Oh my goodness, he have 4 hands. Must be an alien. That is the Western mindset, no? Even some people still think about that, How many times oh, they are aliens. They're blue in color. Lack of knowledge, they will say such things. So what is the most important thing? To have that knowledge first thing. It's not because of somebody display certain qualities of the outside you don't understand. It must be into that category. So it is not what bring you to that state of understanding. So knowledge is very important. By association with, I guess, saints, one become saint too. So what happened to the husband of the gopis? Oh. Did they become saint too? Look, that's a nice question. You see, when you go home, you're a very saintly being. No? You are full of joy and happiness. How is your husband looking at you? In a very saintly way? Huh? Tell me. Why have you spent so long time there? Why have you not come back home quickly? Huh? You go there, you look at him. Why do you look at him like that? Poor gopis also was like this. Their husband was going through tremendous worry and pain. Just as they were paining for Krishna, the husband was longing. Why is he looking at this Krishna like that? Why are they looking at Krishna like this? But in the mind of the gopi, you see, in the heart of the gopi, that burning sensation, don't see Krishna as what one perceives as Krishna outside. To the physical eyes of everybody, Krishna was just a little boy. You understand that? Don't think that the image what you see of Krishna being adult, dancing with a gopi. This is in the Ras, yes. Knows one thing, when Yashoda will put Krishna to bed, Krishna was 4 years old. As Krishna climbed out of the windows, as he climbed out of the window, he grew to a response of the Atma which is inside of the gopi, that longing of the gopis. Does the husband have the same longing? Don't have. How would they understand? So for the physical eyes of the husband of the gopis, Krishna was just a small boy, which they loved dearly. And that was it. So question is, association to the one which is longing, whether they become saved? Yes, they do. Because to have such punya, firstly, to be associated to a devotee itself, you must have a certain category. You must have a certain quality inside of you. And above all, the daily routine was near and around Krishna. When they see Krishna going grazing, not only the gopis, the Shastra talk about only the gopis, no? Because gopis look at it in a bhav. The gopis look at Krishna with such longing and yearning. They don't look at Krishna like that. That's what I was explaining the day before yesterday. That means that longing, that yearning, that emotional attachment that they have towards Krishna. That kind, for their eyes, is a different. The vision is different. From the outside, is it different? The Gwal Bal of Brajvasi. Why we say Brajvasis are very, not nowadays, I don't believe too much, but that time, Brajvasis are very, lucky, blessed. Because Bhagavan himself came to them. They didn't go to Bhagavan. Bhagavan came to them. They must have something that have attracted him, no? What lucky fellow they are, whether they have understood their wife or not. Whether for them their wife is a bit cuckoo, like your husband. Think about you. So only devotees know that. You know. Only devotees know the heart. What is the heart is happening inside. You know? And Bhagavan knows. So being around, they were all saintly beings. They may not realize it. They may not perceive, they may not feel the same. But yet, they all know that Krishna is special. That's why when Krishna left Vrindavan, everybody was crying. Not only the gopis were crying. We saw the hysteric aspect of the gopi running around. But the gopas also were crying. Nanda was crying, Yashoda was crying. The animal was crying, the trees was crying. Everybody was crying. So there was a question somebody asked me, actually they sent me a message and asking. It is so short distance between Mathura and Vrindavan. Why they didn't go? This is the question that often people ask, you know. Actually, you see, the boundaries of a kingdom, let's say Brajvasis was under the kingdom of Kans. Kans was the ruling king. That's why they had to pay him tax. No? They brought, what they brought? Makhan, curd, and so on. So, you see, in spite of being so near, yet there was, of course, an invisible boundaries that separate them from the rest. No, Krishna did his leelah in a surrounding only. He didn't go around outside of that, all the leelah that we see is in a circumference only that happened. Outside of that, no. Even when the Mathura is so near, how many kilometers? 16 kilometers. He didn't go and do his leelah there. He was just born there and brought back. Brought to Nandagaon, no? Gokul first, then Vrindavan later. So he restricts this surrounding. So the gopis, in spite of having that longing, they could have run. It's very easy. 16 kilometers is nothing. You know, that time people were walking for that was their means of transport only. But yet, they could not, because the leela have changed at that time. When Krishna left Vrindavan, it's a different leela that start. The Balkand of Krishna, they were the lucky one to experience. So those who have experienced that Balkand, they are that elevated soul. Then Krishna went back to Mathura. Once he went to Mathura, that was finished. He come afterwards, at the end, you know, when everybody was old. 100 years later, he came back. I told them, I'll come. In 2 days' time, I'll come. That's what he said. Imagine the gopis was sitting there waiting. 2 days. Time have passed. 100 years, he came back. So how they were. Funny thing is that they didn't die. Why they didn't die? With the fear, if we die, Krishna come and look for us. He didn't see us. That will pain him. So they retain the life force itself inside of them. How did they retain that life force inside of them? Through that longing for Krishna, thinking of him, absorbed in his pastime only. So the mind itself have transformed. They regenerate every cells inside of themselves, you know. So in spite of, you will say how old they were already old when Krishna was young, you know. So they will be quite old, no? Let's say they were 30 years old. So 100 years passed, they were 130 years old. 130 years old is not that fresh, no? So, look at 60 years old, it's not fresh anymore. So, but they kept their life force. So in spite of being near, that what gives them that power inside of them. If saints incarnate again, and one pray to their all incarnation, who is answering them? They have reincarnate already, so who is answering them? That universal Lord himself, which is present in everyone, he is answering the prayer. Behind all the saints is only him, no? So whether the saints have reincarnated again, still, when they pray to the old form, the prayer get answered, you know. So what is making the prayer answered? Is that faith that they have. Yeah? Faith is something very important, you know. If you don't have faith, nothing happens. If you have faith, everything will happen. So that you are praying to the saint, you know, miracles are happening. If you don't know that this is a saint, do you think miracle will happen? It will not. So our mind also is very important to see, you know, how our mind functions. Our mind have like and dislike. But what is the like and dislike? Is when we know something, no? And say, let's say you know that saint have reincarnated again, what will happen? Automatically you pray to the new one, no? The old one become at the back. Would your prayer answer or not? oh no, you're not so sure. It will. Because where you have faith, that's what will happen. So what is important is that faith that you are putting in. Whether it is old, new, or very, very old. Krishna is very, very old. No? When did Krishna pass away? 5,257 years ago? But he's still very present, no? So you see, whether the saint have reincarnate or not, to whom you are putting the faith on, you have to know that it is Bhagavan that you're having faith into. It is Bhagavan behind the saints which is fulfilling everything. Like Krishna said, I am the one inside all of them. You know, it is me which fulfill all the wishes of everyone. So, whether it is old or new, it doesn't matter. Your faith what matter. If Krishna came to re-establish the Dharma, why did everything get worse when he left? Kali Maharaj, his fault. So when Krishna passed away, left this plane, that is when Kaliyuga started. No? The problem is not the Dharma outside. The problem is the human mind. You know, how the mind easily run into the outside. What happened? You see, one thing is that with people, you can see, they have two problems. What is this problem? What makes them unhappy always? You know, we're talking about Dharma, but Dharma, what is the Dharma? Dharma is to be happy, you know, to be joyful, to attain to that blissful state. But why opposite happen? Huh? And the mind? No, there's two things. Everybody want everybody else to be happy. Listen, you want everybody to be happy. And you want everybody to be happy with you. Two things. I want everybody to be happy, to agree with with me. Huh? So, it just takes one person which is not happy to ruin your own happiness. Understand? One person. And then you want everybody to be happy with you. No, nobody will be happy with you. This is the problem, you know. Want everybody to be happy and everybody to be happy. I will be happy with everyone. Not happening. So, that individual mindset, you know, will always be there if it is not transformed. No? So when Krishna came, Kali, when we talk about Kali Maharaj, what we are talking is that mind became very active. Which kind of mind? It's an extroverted mind which became active. The mind doesn't run inside. That's why Krishna gave the Gita, so that you can turn that mind inward. But then when the mind starts turning outside, what happened? Problem. Chapter 2, verse 62, 63 of Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna said. He said, no? When the mind, when the sense is attached to with an object of the outside, what happened? Attachment is created. When attachment is created, desire for that object awake. When the desire awakes, sometimes it's fulfilled and not fulfilled. What happened? If it is not fulfilled, most of the time it is not fulfilled. What happened? anger arise. Out of anger, loss of judgment awake. From loss of judgment, loss of bewilderment of memory. From bewilderment of memory, intellect is destroyed. When intellect is destroyed, you're ruined completely. Kali. Gaur Kaliyuga. Eh? You see that 8-step bow. Krishna lift you up. And then, no, I want to go down. Huh? Who brought you down? That mind. Krishna lift you, but your mind bring you down. How it bring you down? Just by one thought. One thought, where that thought have attached itself. It attached to the object. Peace is finished. It is such a beautiful step. When if you analyze it, you see. The mind get attached. Imagine, in a classroom, there is a beautiful girl, 20 rascal around. They all are beautiful. They don't see anything else, as if there's only one person. Who will win it? Only one. So that one fellow will say, yes, that is, oh, you are my beautiful, my object, my everything. That's why, you see, when you go to somebody's office, what do you see? They have the picture of their wife, their children there in front of them. Because the secretary was so beautiful girl. No? You are very honest, decent person. No? So you have to have your wife even put the picture there. In front of you constantly, but something it is in front of your eyes constantly, you create that attachment to it. The wife said, hey, remember that your children. So you see, you create a certain attachment. No, constantly, if you said, secretary is beautiful. No, my wife is beautiful. You'll start feeling guilty inside. That my children, that the mother of my children, how can I do something like that? Very bad. So constantly, very clever. So your mind is attached. So when that mind is attached, if you don't get what you desire, what happens? Anger arises inside of you. No, if I don't get it, if I am not happy with that, nobody should be happy. People look at only your negative. They don't look at your positive. Somebody can rescue someone, many people. But if one person, by rescuing so many people, one person died, they will be accused for that one person. Forget all the people they have rescued. But one. This is the mindset. Krodh, anger. So when that anger arises, you can't think. You're deluded. You start seeing things which is not even there. How much you can love somebody. Oh, this was my beautiful friend. My girlfriend, my boyfriend, my husband. Divorce happened. person, I know who he was. He was the devil. Look at him. I didn't know him before. Now he's a delusion. So you can't think properly anymore. So when you start losing it, you can't even think properly, you can create delusion inside of your mind. That is Kali. You lose the Dharma itself. Then what will you do? If that person is not happy, I will ruin the happiness of that person. Nobody can look at you being happy. We were talking about that today. Outside world, people can't see you happy. They want to ruin your happiness. Because inside of them, they are jealous. How can they be happy when the world is falling down? There's big war happening, you should be miserable. Corona is dancing, killing everybody, you should be miserable. You can't be happy. Loss of judgment. And that, when that is lost, you will do stupid things. Then Bhagavan said, you lose, then intellect itself is destroyed. So when intellect is destroyed, you are reduced, even worse kind of animal, lowest than an animal. Even if you go, what keeps you in the society is your character. Your character is gone. What will happen? Society will reject you. Then you go to the animal. Hey, I've been rejected by this human. I am worse. I'm an animal now. Animal will look at you and say, my goodness. No. Look at you. How can you be with us? Animal also have a certain etiquette, no? They look at you. You lost everything. When you eat, you have to cook your food. We don't. We eat it fresh. Look, you wear clothes. Winter, you have winter clothes. Summer, you have summer clothes. We don't have anything. You can't even be with us for 24 hours. How do you survive with us? Go away. So you're ruined completely. All by attaching the thoughts. That's what Bhagavan Krishna have prepared the world afterwards, for people to listen and really understand what is behind and grow and transform. Doesn't mean that in Kaliyuga it's difficult. Doesn't mean that Dharma is not possible. No, it didn't get worse. Actually, within that, they have made everything. If you study the Gita, you see clearly what they have done. The psychological state which they have bring, that transformation itself, And he have warned one, but one mind will be deluded if it is not controlled. And he said, well, why should I control? Nowadays you say, oh yes, why should I control? But control is important. I said, yes, but God have given us everything beautiful, to enjoy. Why should I control? If you don't control your mind, if you let that mind loose, this is where you lose the Dharma itself, So you have to have that alertness at all times. Whenever you perceive the mind diverted, the mind, if you allow that mind to divert and get attached to that object, you will lose the Dharma. So, you see, Bhagavan have established that Dharma. He have given that knowledge. But it's up to each individual to understand and really dive into it and transform that. That willingness to transform must be there. That willingness, if I want to achieve something, I have to aim for the highest. Otherwise, I will be doing the same thing as everybody else is doing. So this, how it gets worse, because people, in place of going up the ladder, they go down. Why can't every being get liberation by the blink of an eye? Yes, pralay can happen. If pralay happened, everybody will be liberated. Because Bhagavan take everybody inside of his cosmic body, and then when creation happened again, he released everything. So in blinking an eye, it's just even too much. So every kalpa, that happened. Whether one have reached that state or not. So how many kalpa are we? How many yugas have gone through? 28. So, well, it does. So Bhagavan allowed, because liberation, everybody long for liberation. Yeah, Bhagavan said, no, liberation is not that what is the most important thing. Liberation is only for people which doesn't have that bhakti inside of them. They long for liberation. The bhakta don't long for liberation. Liberation is given, yes, but what is liberation? Liberation is I eternally enjoy the presence of Bhagavan. What go through that pralay is Vaikuntha. That doesn't happen. Once you enter there, you don't go through that process. Pralay happen only from this field unto Brahmalok. And when you see the cosmology of thing, Brahmalok, even Shivalok is not touched by that. Shivalok is above Brahmalok. So Brahmalok is till here is all Maya. Everything which is in Maya, go through that. Everything which is creation, go through that transformation and that change. So your aim must be for the highest. It is Bhagavan himself. Then Sri Ramanujacharya talk about Parampada. Means what one have to attain to the lotus feet of Sri Hari. And the lotus feet of Sri Hari, that is a service, but we have to render to attain there. So you see, liberation doesn't have the same connotation for a bhakta and a mundane, worldly people. So he can, when Arjun saw the cosmic form of Krishna, what he saw. So everything is entering him now, and everything is going out. So are we out of him, or are we in him, and he in us? Huh? We are looking for him everywhere when he is here. So in the commentary on 631 of Bhagavad Gita, you said that all action of a bhakta are action of God according to his will. Even if on the outside they look like bad action. How to see difference between action of bhakta and action of ordinary people who do the same bad action. So, in the Gita, Krishna said, no? even if someone have committed the worst crime, but yet have surrendered to me, that person must consider as a saint. So on the outside, the action means the same. No? We see a saint sometimes get very angry. No? When we look at the Shastras, we see how, yesterday I was talking about Harishchand. No? Did I talk about Harishchand yesterday? Private. I don't. So we're talking about King Harishchand. How sage Vishwamitra, who was sitting in deep penance, meditation, and then Harishchand, the king, was passing by and disturbed him, and he was very angry with him. So that he wanted to test him, and he tested him completely till the end. He took everything from him. Everything. He was he reduced to a nobody. That great king. Till the end, he even asked his wife to pay to burn his son. How to pay? To disrobe her, give half of her sari. As she was removing it, Vishwamitra came there and stop. I accept my failure. You have won. You are great. You see, when the saint or the devotees, I'm not saying those devotees, when I'm talking about devotees, who have the devotees who have conquered the mind, and devotees who have that really pure love inside of them, that intense yearning for Bhagavan, that kind of devotee, when they do, automatically, even if it appeared bad on the outside, it will bear good result. And also you have to see, when a great devotee of the Lord do something, okay. For example, Vasishtha, King Vasishtha, when Vishwamitra, before he was great king, he come to Vasishtha, he wanted to steal the Kamadinu. And Vasishtha said to him, "Oh, you can't do that. I can't give it to you. But for that you must do great penance." No. Okay. But his determination to have Kamadinu was so strong inside of him. But he said, "Yes, I will let go of everything. I will." Vasishtha could have said, "Yes, do you think a sage need this?" No, you don't need. You could have said, "Yeah, take, go." But no. Behind that, they know there is a greater purpose. That king, which is attached so much into the outside world, need to be transformed. And how he can transform? Only when he can challenge. He can have that deep yearning and longing. Then transformation can happen to him, to make him the great Vishwamitra. Otherwise he would not. So that's why the saints have to act in a very irrational way sometimes, to bring that what they perceived inside the others out. So imagine Vishwamitra would still be king. Would you ever heard about him? Well, I never heard it. How many kings have come and go? How many kings have really marked the history for a very short time? Do you hear from them? No, don't know. Many. Even in Europe, how many kings were? But you don't hear from them. But now you hear Vishwamitra have done such great act. No? Such a great penance he have done, He have given the Gayatri mantra. But this would not happen if Vasishtha would have not acted in a certain way towards him. So the bhakta are governed by the divine to act in a certain way. And by acting in a certain way, it brings always something positive afterwards. Whereas, opposite, an irrational person who have lost their memory, commit an offense, it brings completely outrageous, pain, destruction, sadness, anxiety, everything else. So the outcome is different. Even if the action can be the same, but the outcome is completely different. We know that the mind has to be surrendered to your feet, not to my feet. But what about the ego? What should we do with it? What is the ego? Come on. The mind is surrendered, okay? If the mind is surrendered, what is your attitude must be? Humility, humbleness. So, in the presence of being humble, do you think the ego is there? Ego happen when you think of I, my, constantly. My happiness, my job, my house, my car, my. Then impossible to surrender because you are just thinking about yourself. So how do you think? You say yes, if the mind is surrendered, a surrendered mind is transformed already. A surrendered mind doesn't have that I am doing this, I am doing no, he is doing it. It's not about my happiness, it's about him. As long as the I, you sing the glory of I. The saints also say I. No? But the I is not about the ego. The I is a surrendered I. As language, we can use I. But very often we see, how problematic it is. My happiness, my joy, my things. We're so attached to it. But we ruin ourselves. We don't perceive it. We are so drowned into that. So that I, that ego, have to transform. That's why Krishna said in the Gita, control the mind. But it's very difficult to control the mind. Not easy. When you try to control it, what happens? Fight back. The mind knows you better than you know yourself. But yet, he said, by constant practice, transformation will happen. By constant realizing that they don't live in me. They are in me, but I am not in them. When Bhagavan Krishna said that in the Gita, they are in me, I am not in them. That's what we have to say. They are all in me, but I am not in them. So how much I give attention to the outside, that become my reality. So am I in them? No. They can be coming, they come to me. Yes. But I am not in them. How much we take, that will build up. So we have to remember. But the outside, stay on the outside. What is inside, stay on the inside. Who are you? Are you that outside only, or are you more than that, what you perceive of the inside? So Bhagavan is there, no? We are all living entities. No? In one of your Abhang you were saying, Tukaram said, everything which is living, it is only Vittal, nothing else. So do you perceive Vittal and serve him? Or you perceive, if I don't get this, what will happen? If something doesn't go the way I want, what will happen? It's not the end of the world. But for many people it is, They think that this is the end of the world. No. The world will carry on, whether you are here or not. You don't bother about you. You think, as long as you have life inside of you, you think that you're very important. You are not important. Everybody thinks that they're so important. The world will carry on afterwards. 1 month they will think about you. After 1 month they forget about you. Are you important? No, you're not important. So your pity, ego, which think that it is so important. How many ministers have come and goes? How many kings have come and goes? Huh? Are they important? No, they are not important. In Bhagavad, Prithvi Devi laughed. When who was that demon who wanted to conquer her? One demon, he wanted to conquer Mother Earth. I don't know what he was writing. Baka? Sur? No, but that is Krishna. I hold this Asura's name. So he wanted to conquer Mother Earth. And Mother Earth said, laugh at him. Said, how can you conquer me? Like you have seen 1,000. Millions have come before you, and million will go afterwards. But look, they have gone, never to be heard again. Who are you? One of the, like them also. Nobody will remember. And yet, that life without Sri Hari, that life itself, it's nothing. Kali Purush, Kaliyuga. So you see, like that, the ego makes you think that you're too great, too important. Reflect upon that how many have claimed the same? Your great-grandmother also was thinking the same. Your great-grandfather was thinking the same. You thinking the same. Maybe 2 generations after, they will also think the same. What makes you great, is that change inside of you. How you evolve as an Atma, that's what will bring the transformation, that joy, that bliss inside of you. So in the Bhakta's life, there is no place for the ego to play. He said, yes, Bhagavan put me here. Of course I have to do what he have put me here for. That's why Krishna said to Arjuna, you have to do your Dharma. You can't run away from your Dharma. Do it. But find me in the Dharma, whatever you do. Find me in every moment of your life. And that is the difference between bhakta, who is surrender, and bhakta which is not surrender. Bhakta who surrender knows that whatever happened, Bhagavan is with them. It is his will. Bhakta who doesn't happen, no, very bad, let me go away. It doesn't happen the way I want, let me go away. What happened? Would you be happy here? You are not happy here, you are not happy there. You will never be happy. So, this is how we play, always, constantly, We let the ego dictate us. We talk about the mind, but the mind is a process that can transform. But yet, one enslaves themselves through the ego. And they become miserable afterwards. What is the best way to overcome obstacle? Ta-da. Why is it an obstacle? Because you see it as an obstacle. If you would not see it as an obstacle, would it be an obstacle? It will not be an obstacle. It will become an adventure for you. Every obstacle, either it stopped you, or you can utilize it and move forward. When you do canoeing, there's a lot of obstacles, no? Danger, don't think it is not, dangerous. It's very dangerous. No? You can die very easily. But yet, people find it exciting. They become very adventurous. No? So the obstacle become an adventure when you start to enjoy it. The problem is that you don't enjoy. You rebelled against it. You fight it. No, use the obstacle. Use it and advance. Every obstacle you can use it, either in a negative way or in a positive way. You use it in a positive way, you will be the one which will profit from. If you use it in a negative way, it is you alone which will lose. Don't think that anybody else will lose. No, nobody else loses into that. You lose. So every obstacle that presents itself, you can transform it into adventure. Look, bungee jumping. Bungee jumping. Bungee. I want to do it one day, but let's see. How is your heart standing at the border? Heart is beating, bang, 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 bang. No? Then you say to yourself, oh, what can happen? What can happen? You can just die now. When did you say that? Once you're already out. But before that, your mind, your heart, fear. But once you have thrown yourself, yes, I have done it. You feel Great. Eh? You have, that obstacle have been crossed over, you know. There's no obstacle anymore. I made it. I said to Cristiano's grandma, we have a rendezvous next year. Next year she become 100. And she said, you know, some years back she told me, oh, you know, I'm tired of being here, I want to go. I said, no. I said, Nona, you stay. Wait, when you're 100, then we can decide that. And I will decide that. We said, we will go on in the plane and we will take a parachute and jump. And I said to Nona, listen, whether you survive and carry on, that's fine. If you don't survive, it's also fine. But at least reach that 100. This year I was reminding her, how old is she? 99? Next year. I was reminding her, she was laughing. It's fun, this Nona, I tell you. We went once walking, you know, she was climbing on the wall. Wow. And she said, I am a farm girl. And that's what she said. Huh? So you see, obstacles are there not to stop you, but to make you better, to make you more strong. But you have to really see it as something that you can utilize to move forward. Don't let any obstacle stop you. The moment you sit down and start crying, that is an obstacle, and you finish. So we will see. You see Guruji falling down. Who is Nona, of course. Maybe Nona survive. I'll be gone. Cool. Does Narayana also descend on earth from his own, for his own pleasure, or only in time of trouble? I don't know. He's bliss in himself, you know. He don't descend to have pleasure here. What is highest one bliss? Eh? There's nothing. That's why you see Narayana is lying down. You know, this is the image that we saw. Mahalakshmi sitting at his feet. He's absorbed in Satchidanand. He's absorbed into that bliss. He's bliss from the toe to the head, you know, and everything inside of him. You know. He's absorbed into that bliss. So why would he have pleasure coming here? Let me go a little bit. But when his devotee is in danger, he comes. And those who have surrendered to him are in problem, he come. When he have to enact certain leelah, he come. But for whom he come, not for his sake. He come for the sake of his devotee. So he will not say, let me go and do some of these water park. I feel like doing some water skiing today. Let me go down and do some water skiing. Hey, Mahalakshmi, come with me. As I said, only to uplift Dharma he come. You know, yada yada hi dharmasya. He come to uplift Dharma. He come to remind humanity of what is the Dharma. What is the true purpose of life itself. They would not come to have boat ride or ski, bungee jumping, all this stuff. No, no, no. But for the sake of the devotee, he will. Mahatar Babaji, you are keep telling us never give up on hope. I experience that hope is linked to expectation, which we should not have. So, how can we know which hope are good for us and which one is not good? Every hope is not good. Like you said in your question itself, you hope, that means you don't believe. Then when you hope for something, means you don't have faith. You don't believe also. Then you keep hoping. Hope I will have a better future. No, why you have to hope to have a better future? Make your future and make your life better now. Future would be nice. Hope means a future. I'm thinking about something must happen like that. In the far future this will be. Why can't it be now? I will be happy. I will. Why can't you be happy now? Is it bad now? Something wrong now? Why you have to hope then? People said hope. How do you say? Hope keep you going, no? But it's a complete idiot. You can't be happy now. You think that in the future you will be happy? You can't attain something now. Do you think in the future you will attain it? Not. People hope, you know. They have lived a life of miserable, and then they hope they will go to heaven. Always a hope. And then they open the door. They see Mr. Devil in front of them. Oops. I'm in the wrong place. No, you're in the right place. You hope. But in your hope, what was in your mind? Fear of going downstairs, no? That's what you were harvesting inside of your mind. But you will go down. That's why you go down. So there is no joy in hoping. It's for fool. The same way when you hope, you also have regret of the past. The moment you hope, the regret will be there. And then you're ruining that precious moment which you can really be somebody now. You're ruining that precious moment. Why? Because you're thinking you will be better afterwards. Become better now. If something is not good now, transform it now. So there is no good hope or bad hope. All hope are not good. So, you're hoping when I will finish. You teach us to be around Bhakta and Sangha. What if my husband and grown children doesn't share the spiritual path with me? They accept me being a devotee, but they live life very differently. Does that work? Well, look, I can't tell you leave your husband and children. No, no, no. As much as there is darkness, if you bring a light, can the darkness overshadow the light? No, the light will shine. It may take a long time, you know. Let's say you go in a cave who have not been opened for centuries, and you bring your little torch. Would the shadow cover the light? No, it can't. So it doesn't matter, you know, whether your husband or your children, you know, are not devotee. You are devotee. You know, that word devotee itself means devoted, which means I have given myself. No? So when Bhagavan is putting you, you have to act like that. No? So he have put you with your family. It would not be the way you want it. But by you being in your presence, they can receive the blessing. And probably they change, you know. There was one Mataji, when I was in southern France, I think I was telling them. We were talking, she told me, oh, you know, Guruji, my husband is an atheist. Atheist. I don't believe. And then they were talking, two persons was talking. The Mataji was saying her husband is an atheist. The other Prabhu was saying my wife is an atheist. I said, okay, do one thing. Why you don't divorce both of you? You know, and you get married. Problem solved. The two atheists can go together and exchange. You Western people like that, no? Exchange. So, and well, I was joking, of course, you know. Funny, her husband came for just love. And I was doing a darshan, I saw her. Where's her husband? I said, ah. I said, yes, Swamiji. He came. And afterwards I asked her, how is it? What does he think? I said, he love it. You see, when somebody don't know about your life, you know, because what very often you do, you like to keep it secret. Your spiritual life, you like to keep it secret. You don't like to share. Why you don't like to share? You're scared what they will think. But they already think that you're crazy. There's nothing more to think about. Yeah? Like you said, they have accepted you to be devotee. They have accepted that you're crazy. So there's nothing else. They know there is a screw loose here. Whether you pretend or not, you're already in their book. Just be yourself. Share your experience, you know, with them. If they listen to you, it's fine. If they don't listen to you, it's also fine. At least you have to speak it up. No? They will get more scared if you tell more stories. Huh? Then they will increase, well, this woman level we were thinking is very high now. You have evolved spiritually. They can't understand you. Even if they want to understand you with a limit mind, they will not be able to understand you. But they see. She is happy. Why am I not happy? I'm doing everything to be happy, but I'm not happy. There must be something. So that with time they start to think, no? Maybe this meditation, there is something into that. No? I have taken drugs, I have taken alcohol, I have smoked everything, but still I'm not happy. Look. You know that? Probably most of you know about that, eh? How many of you know? I could have heard. So you see, you have gone through that. You have to understand them. So there is time for everyone. Pritu, a question for you. Could you elaborate on the deepness of Shivital Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha? You are the first person I have given this mantra, so you can elaborate on that for them.
Jai Gurudev. Sorry? You see, Guruji just mentioned this verse from Bhagavad Gita, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya. It says that age after age, when there's some decline on the righteousness, what do you say that? Righteousness. When there's Krishna, he will appear. Then also Krishna, he says that sadhunam, paritranaya sadhunam. No? Paritranaya sadhunam. This verse, there is also that when Krishna he comes and he gives name. So why that? To relieve and to bring some peace. Shri Vitala Giridhari Paramahamsa Namaha. It's a conjunction of three aspects into one body. Actually, Vitala, we know very well that he's the one who stands on the brick, waiting to his devotee to come. This is a way to break the ego. Giridhari, he's the one who is lifting Govardhana and giving this shelter, this protection to everyone. Why? They're giving this protection to everyone. Because in Vrindavana, they don't want to have anxieties. Even Krishna can cause anxiety, but other people that is not allowed to cause anxiety. Because the only anxiety which is allowed in Vrindavana is that when I will see my Krishna, when I will see my Kana. So, Shri Vitala Giridhari Paramahamsa Namaha. Parabrahma is that this aspect that embraces everything. You know, this Param Brahma, Param, this supreme reality. No. So, when these three comes together, they turn into this form of Krishna, in this form, this mantra, that is very powerful, because it comes to give this refuge, this shelter, which the soul has been longing for. And when Guruji, he received this mantra, when Guruji, he got this mantra and he gave it to us, why did he did it for us? It was in the moment when the pandemic was starting. It was a moment to relieve us from pain, from worry. Don't worry, Krishna is here. Don't worry, the mantra is here. Don't worry, the Shastras, the Vedas are here. No? So that's one aspect. And another aspect of this mantra, that is to kill your pride. Because Giridhari, when he's lifting Govardhana, he's killing the pride of the demigod, Indra. Indra, he has called Sarvataka, the most powerful cloud, and said, go to Vrindavan and destroy everything. No, that's not work. Because you can't fight against the Supreme Lord. You can't fight the Supreme Reality. Pundalik was there, pressing the feet of his parent. But Krishna Vitala was standing, waiting. Also, we see the story of Chokamela. We see the story of Samat. Do some program again, but should I go there? Maybe not, maybe, I don't know, but Guruji, it's just a love festival every year, same thing, this band, these songs, Navaratri again. No, so the devotee, they should have this claim, to always be there. Because if you do not go there, he will come to you in somehow. That's why Samatavali, Chokamela, Kanaka, also a beautiful story of Kanaka. So we see how the devotee, because in Bhagavad Gita chapter 18 verse 65, Krishna is saying very clearly, my devotee, Mamana Madhvav Bhakto, my devotee, he's always thinking about me. And I'm also thinking about my devotee, because my devotee resides on me and I reside on my devotee. That's what. So this mantra, Shivritala Giridhari Paramahamsa, how is exactly this aspect, to please, So my dear Supreme Lord, please, give this shelter, this protection, kill this pride on me. Jai Gurudev.
Beautiful explain. When pride is removed, nothing become impossible. Everything become possible. So it is this mantra for now, and spread it. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, a few years back, you told about the 21 hell and how one get tortured. It's not me who said it. The Bhagavat who said it. Garuda Puran would say. In the Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, Krishna said, fire cannot burn you, water doesn't wet you, wind doesn't dry you. What is it then, what get tortured, and how does one feel this? So, you see, when you die, due to your vasanas, to your punyas, you are allocated a certain body, which we call the spiritual body. So your spiritual body, in spite of not being material, yet that body can feel. So when you go to hell, the 21 hell, if you go, of course, short time holiday there. So that body will feel everything. The torture, you will experience it. Garuda Puran explained that so beautifully. But once you have read the Garuda Puran, you have to change. So if you have not read it. It will inspire you not to go there. The same, you see, if you go to some heavens, Indralok, you go to little heavens, X, Y, Z heavens, there's many heavens. There's heavens for the little good you do. You go to a little heaven because you have a little punya only. Your bank account is little there. So you go to holiday according to your capacity. No? So down, you are in debit. You're working very hard. Here you come on Karma Bhumi, Mother Earth, to work, no? So what you do, in place of working, you take credit. No? By becoming negative, you take credit. So you have to go down. So then you're allocated a certain body, but you will feel everything. All the pain, the torture, you will feel it. It will mark your soul. Of course, even your soul is not attached to that, it will feel it. And it will say, oops. So again, when you go to heaven, it's also the same. Go to heaven like a big man, entering heaven. So you're given a card. So in that card, there is all the punya that you have done here. You have not attained to Vaikuntha. No? You're still in that realm of the cycle of birth and death. So what happened? You go there, spend time. Just like when you go shopping. You have a credit card, no? You start doing shopping, you don't know, and after that you get the bill. So you have done shopping in heavens, buying pot of Amrit, buy, curd, yogurt, whatever they eat there. What do they say they eat in heaven? Manna. And what they eat? There's honey flowing, and you have to pay. So you pay with your punya. And then you went to pay at the counter. Neat. What is wrong with my card? Punya card is finished. They look at you. No. No more here. Holiday finished. Work start. Wow. Go down and work again. By the shelter of the Sadguru, he helped to release you from that both. The same when you go, they said when you are having your spiritual body, this body which go from heaven to hell, hell to heaven, they are not Vishnu Tattva. They don't have the appearance of Vishnu. So what is it said? When you go to Vaikuntha, your body transformed to Vishnu. So your resemblance, that's why you see Jaya Vijaya. When you look at Jaya Vijaya, how do they look? If you don't know that they are Jaya Vijaya, who you will think it they are? Narayana, no? If you look at, what is him? Chanda, Prachanda. No? How do they look? Like Mahavishnu. There is many Vishnus. That's why when you have your spiritual body in Vaikuntha, you look like Mahavishnu. Well, whereas in Swarg and Nark, you different bodies. There is a story about Rama. When he came back from exile, he met some transgender people who had been waiting for him to come back. He told them they will have a place during Kaliyuga. Can you tell us a story? I don't know the story. I don't remember this story. If you know that story, somebody knows it? I have heard it, but it's at the back of my mind, whatever you want to say. But like a recollection, maybe come, but I don't I don't remember the story. So if you know, anybody of you know the story? No? You know? Come, tell us. I also want to know. Why? Give him a mic.
Jai Gurudev. Guruji. Yeah, well, the story goes like this. I've read the book about it, and it's written that the Hijras in India, they when Rama went to exile, he was everybody. Ah, en français mieux. Ok. Quand Rama est en exil,
Ouais. When Rama was in exile,
il y a tout le monde de Ayodhya qui a essayé de le suivre.
Yeah, that much I know.
Ouais. Et alors Rama, il a dit.
Rama said to the people.
Ouais, les hommes et les femmes de Ayodhya, vous retournez.
All men and women go back to Ayodhya.
Et les transgenres, ils sont restés là parce qu'ils n'ont pas eu de choses à faire. Il leur a pas dit quoi faire.
The transgenders stayed there because Rama didn't tell them where to go.
Yeah.
And they stayed there and waited for him.
And they waited for him for these 14 years. When he came back, they were still here. And then Rama was, what are you doing here? Ouais, et après, alors il leur a dit, oui, on est encore là, on t'attend. Et qu'est-ce qui s'est passé après? Après, Rama, il leur a dit quelque chose qu'ils allaient faire.
So then
Kaliyuga.
they were waiting for Rama, and Rama said, "What in Kaliyuga?
Parce qu'il a dit, ah oui, je vous ai oublié.
I forgot about you." Then
Ouais.
I don't know the story.
Je connais pas le story.
But there is some things about it, but it's not.
I don't know. Okay.
I will find it out. So, any more question? Yes, ask.
Oi. Guruji. Actually, two questions we have. One question, when Uttara Marga Matdasi, she started to sing Radha Vitala, Radha Vitala, Radha Vitala, which was very beautiful with her daughter. I looked to Radha Karaglus and said, no, it's not a match. Even Srimati Radharani, she been present in the temple of Vitala, and knowing that she was one of the reason. No? And the second question.
Sorry, what was the first question?
The first question.
I tried to understand the first question.
No, because Mataji was singing. Mataji was singing Radha Vitala, Radha Vitala.
Yeah, Radha is he is in Pandharpur. You know, when Rukmini was in the Dandi forest, you know, Radha was there also, and Satyabhama also was there. Yeah, they were all there. That's the whole leelah, you know. Eh? You see, the prime is Rukmini. You know why Krishna enacts this leela is because of thinking of Radha, and Radha came there to pacify them. They were fighting. So she was there also. And of course Satyabhama was there also because she also wanted to have a part of that. But most in her mind was mostly, how can I get Krishna only for myself? And Kali Maharaj also was there. He was trying to put some petrol in the fire.
And my second question is, you have said to us that in Vaikuntha we have this awareness, and also we had this choice. We choose to come here. My question is when Narayana, he's showing us this beautiful creation, his Prakriti, if we know that we're gonna be in trouble, if we are aware about that, by coming here, it will be a trouble for us.
What is the question?
The question? No, again, when we come here, when we are there with Narayana,
Yes.
and Narayana show us,
Here, look.
look, I had to create all these things for you to enjoy. Do you want to go? Because in Vaikuntha we have this awareness about which gives the perception that what will be happening in the future. But at this moment, we know that we're going to be in trouble.
Depend. How could it be trouble?
Coming here and going through all these bodies and the birth and death and all this samsara and all this.
Time is irrelevant. Thousands of years here, few seconds of there. The more you go up, okay, into the universe, more time decrease. More the view of having what you view of everything change. Your view, more you rise, your view change also. You can have a vision of past, present and future. That is in the physical. So, your question is, why do we come back? That's what your question is, or not. In spite of knowing,
Just to make it very.
because you always say, whenever you come down and say, I can't do this, I can't do that. You see, imagine you have heard Bhagavatam, you have heard the satsang, you have constantly, that person is telling you always, aim for the highest. What do you do when you go back home? It's like your worry is sitting there waiting for you.
But why the jiva so then accept such turbulence?
It's not about the jiva. You see, one thing is that, look, in spite of knowing the truth, transformation must happen, no? If you know. You have read Bhagavad Gita, you have read the Bhagavatam, but yet look at your mind, how quickly it is going back into the world. Remember I was telling you, it was beautiful. Somebody went to, somebody said, okay, Maharaj, Ganga purified everything. Yes or no? No, Mother Ganga purified everything. That's why Bhagirath brought Ganga here. Why? To purify this world. No? So he brought Ganga here to purify the world. So once they asked, so everybody that goes into Ganga get purified? Huh? So you are hearing Bhagavad, do you all assimilate it and absorb it, or you just go there and finish? Huh? Remember just now I was telling Shiva, Ganga descend on Shiva's head. Shiva appeared there, took Ganga and disappeared. Bhagirath in a shock state with mouth open. Strange fellow this Shiva. He just took it and go. But you see, in spite We say, yes, Ganga purified everybody. But transformation doesn't happen. You are purified as long as you are in the water. You can't breathe. That few seconds you're purified. You come out, your sin is still waiting for you. One day ask Sri Ramakrishna. Then ask Ramakrishna, is Ganga purified? He said, yes. You say, look, there's buffalo also that goes into the Ganga. Do you see? Yes. What is happening? When they go their 4 leg into the Ganga, all the flies fly up on the stomach. No? The buffalo goes inside the body, the flies goes on the head. When the buffalo goes completely into the Ganga, what happened? All the flies hover around on the top, waiting for the buffalo to come out. It is the same process. As long as one is in the Ganga, they are pure. When they come out, the papam is waiting on the top. The same thing. You know about the scriptures. You know. In essence, also you know. I know you know that. When you come for darshan, what I see inside of you, what Bhagavan have brought you, I know you all realize. But do you know that? You have glimpse. But you are so much attached to the outside. You're so much, your mind run towards the external more than the internal. That's what makes it different. In spite of knowing, you don't know. In spite of having glimpses of it, how quickly you forget about it. So that's why, in spite of coming, knowing that I'm going into that place, karma bhumi, and I will stay there for a long time. But yet, you come. Because experience, that's what make you full, no? Without experience, you would not be here. Experience, that's why the Atma come, to experience this world. It is only here. You can incarnate in many aspects. But yet, you will have to go back. So in spite of knowing everything, in spite of knowing, feeling this love inside of you, yet when you go back into the world, you're back again very often into the normal. Why? Lack of discipline. Lack of commitment. When we are talking about commitment, commitment brings joy, happiness. But what you do? Attachment, which brings pain, misery, sadness. And that's what you do. You attach yourself. You don't commit. Big difference between the two. One free you, the other one hold you. So that's why. Good. Okay. Jai Gurudev, I'm sure you're super hungry. I can hear your stomach. Thank you, Dave.